So let's go to chapter 23. Yeah, chapter 23. We discuss 5 different kind of qi. Yeah, 5 different kind of qi. Well, more clear. So when we talking about 5 elements, we know we have different aspects. The firstly, we talking about the flavors. 5 different kind of flavor. Thus, this part basically we are familiar already. Yeah, we are familiar already. So solid kind of flavor go to the liver, and the pungent go to the lung. Bitter go to the heart. Salty go to the kidney. And the sweet go to the spleen. So that's the way different kind of flavor go to different organs. Yeah, go to different organs. So that's this part we pretty familiar already. Yeah, in our foundation, we talking about already. Then we go to some other part. Yeah, some other part. So some other part we talking about illness. Yeah, illness condition. So disorder, 5 different kind of qi. Go to different organs. Yeah, go to different organs. They may cause the different symptoms. So this part, maybe some part we didn't talking about too much before. Some part we still familiar. Some part we still familiar. Some part we didn't talking about before. The first we talking about the disorder of the heart qi. It can cause the patient's stomach disorder, like nausea, vomiting. So that idea look like a little bit different. So how we can understanding this part? Yeah, how we can understanding this part? So we can thinking about spleen channel and the stomach channel. They both have like a bunch of collaterals connected with the heart. So when heart have disorder, they will also infected with middle gel. So that's one aspect. And also from 5 elements stuff, the heart is the mother of the middle gel, spleen stomach, the earth.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so that's the heart have issues, they can attacking the earth, cause the problem. Certainly, they still able to have special heart symptoms and heart issue. They just not specially put it here. But possible cause the middle gel disorder. The lung qi disorder, that's truly the same like we discussed before, may cause patient cough. And the stomach qi disorder, little bit different here, or little bit interesting here. So liver qi disorder can cause people speak loud, talking loud. So how we understanding this part? So liver qi, usually disorder is liver qi stagnation. Liver qi stagnation pretty easily cause the heat. When people have heat conditions, people talking out loud. Yeah, people talking out loud. And the spleen qi disorder does still cause middle jiao disorder, like we talking about the RC reflections. Still middle jiao disorder, the same like we talking about before. And kidney qi disorder. Let's see, some people didn't close your microphone. Okay, that's good. Yeah. So kidney disorder, it can cause problem. Yum, like people always tired. And also can cause sneezing. Yeah. So what that means? Yeah, what that means? So that's basically kidney qi and also including kidney essence part, support ocean spirit. So when people got tired, always yummy. So that's like people pretty often like a kidney kind of deficiency disorder. And also kidney qi supposed to upper to orifice. So like kidney yang qi couldn't ration up, people will be sneezing. So that's basically talking about kidney deficiency kind of disorder, relationship with the symptoms here. Certainly the symptoms not limited in here. Just give us some example here. We truly have more symptoms, but in here we need thinking about some like a 5 organ relationship in there, and some organs function in here. That's the Zang organ. Yeah, that's the Zang organ. Then we're talking about the Fu organ here. So some Fu organ in here, the first we're talking about Fu organ is the stomach. The stomach disorder. So any organ functionally is the qi part. So like each of the organs, they talk about the different organ qi in there, because that's the function part of the organ, including Zang organ, including Fu organ. So stomach qi disorder cause the problems. Stomach qi reversed. Stomach qi reversed, the mainly problems. Vomiting, nausea. So about the fear part, like it is in Huang Di Neijing. It is in Huang Di Neijing. But for many, many years, the doctors put a lot of question mark for fear part. No people truly can explanations for stomach qi disorder. Why fear? Some people say that's maybe like make a copy and a copy and a copy for 2,000 years. And maybe some people, when they make a copy, it's not like right now. We have copy machine. Everything copied exactly the same like original one. When we talking about a copy before, people just write down, and to see the original one, and then write down original one, then write down. So that's possible some mistake, but no people can truly clear that. Yeah. So just the question mark for the fact. But truly it is in Huang Di Neijing right now. We are not truly remove it. Maybe something we are not understanding right now. But just put a question mark there. So that's stomach theory works. And then we're talking about the large intestine and the small intestine. So that's truly relationship with digestive functions, absorption functions. So if they have disorder, they will have diarrhea. So even for modern medicine, right now we're talking about the small intestine disorder, possible cause diarrhea. Large intestine disorder, still possible cause diarrhea, because the main function of large intestine reabsorption the water. If large intestine reabsorption the water function have disorder, people truly can cause diarrhea and also possible constipation. So that's how imagine about 2,000 years ago for TCM, they understanding this part. And then talking about like lower jaw, 下焦是 lower jaw or lower border or lower energy. They have some disorder. They couldn't regulate the water, so cause the more water retention can cause the edema. Yeah, water go to the skin. Yeah, water retention go to the skin will cause the edema. So that's the lower jaw functions. Then bladder. Bladder functions, we say holding the urine and then up to some amount, then relieve the urine. So bladder have disorder. They possible cause two aspects. One aspect may cause the urine retention, like always holding there, not release, not go to pee. People hardly to getting pee. They feel it, but they couldn't control. They couldn't pee out. That means urination retention. So all the urination will holding in your bladder and make your bladder getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the problem. We say that's bladder's problems, losing their function. And another aspect, they losing the control. What means losing the control? So we say usually, normally, the kidney, yes, certainly kidney producing the urine, and then they continually sending to your bladder. And your bladder can holding usually is kind of a 300 millimeter to 500 millimeter. And then people feel some uncomfortable feeling there, like need to go to pee, and then they pee out. So that's normal. That's normal. But for first condition, we say bladder, they couldn't relieve it. It could be holding double of the amount, but still very uncomfortable. They just couldn't relieve it. Another aspect is we say normally when pee or urination have about 300 to 500 millimeter, then people go to washroom to pee out. But the problem if people couldn't control the bladder, like they continually some linking urination. So that's cause the problems. Sometimes in the nighttime and also possible like a daytime, they couldn't hold it. So like especially like people cough, yeah, and some pressure in abdominal area, they immediately got a little bit amount pee out. So that's bladder's problems. Generally say couldn't control. Try to relieve it, they couldn't. Try to hold it there, they still couldn't. So that's the problems of your bladder. Gallbladder disorder. That cause the patient is easily angry. So we can thinking about gallbladder 脏腑 relationship with the liver. So liver still have 疏泄 function, make the qi moving smoothly. If liver 疏泄 function is losing, qi not moving smoothly, qi stagnation, and the people emotionally is more angry. So that's 5 different kind of disorder caused by they talking about 5 zang organ here, but basically including the 4. So we never totally separate zang fu organ functions. We just shortly say 5 zang organ. That's pretty common, but truly including all the organs functions. Yeah. So that's in this chart, even they say 5 zang organs, but they still have some problems relationship with full organ here. Then we're talking about, we say 5 acids. So usually we're talking about kidney acids. Other organ, maybe we're talking about more about the qi. But truly, so qi belong to organs function part. Acids belong to organs in part, like the form part or structure part. That should be in all the 5 organs. Just we are not talking about too much. So the acids here, you can thinking about the in part of the organ's functions. Qi, just the yang part of the organs. So that's we talking about basically we need to put ices and qi together, talking about their structures and their functions. So that's basically even we talking about ices, but we still put qi together. Yeah. So that's Jing and qi. So for Chinese, sometimes we always put Jing, Qi, Shen together. Jing is essence. Qi, everybody familiar already. The energy function. And Shen is spirit. So that means these three pretty close relationship each other. Without Jing essence, without Qi, people without Shen. So that's what we're talking about. If people pretty strong, they have Jing Qi Shen. If people like pretty tired, no Shen there, certainly the essence and the Qi must be have some difference there. So that's we put together essence and qi, Jing and qi together. So we're talking about accumulations here. Still means some disorder. That still means some disorder. Maybe difference disorder, maybe excessive disorder, whatever. They are not moving. Pretty similar like we talking about the qi disorder. We say qi deficiency, qi not moving, can cause qi stagnation. But like some organs, like liver, liver qi maybe cause stagnations. It's not because deficiency there, but just not moving properly. Like liver qi stagnation is excessive condition. It's not truly deficiency condition. So we say deficiency problems can cause qi disorder. Excessive kind of problems still can cause the qi access disorder here. So they didn't especially talking about its deficiency problems or excessive problems. So accumulation of the Jing and the qi here, essence and the qi here, you can just think about the disorder of the essence and the qi. So if that abnormally qi condition go to the heart, it's lending patience joy. Look like joy is happy, like everybody like joy. But they talking about the joy here. I think you put overjoy. That's the disorder. Yeah, 5 different kind of emotions. Everybody have. Yeah, everybody have. Normally, in some range, normally. Normal for everybody, but not over. Even joy, overjoy, still disorder. Like people laughing whole day, no reason. That's still abnormal. Yeah, still abnormal. So like some people suddenly got 649 and they happy, they laugh every day, their Shen disorder. So that's all the emotion here. We're talking about over. We're talking about over. That's especially because the heart Shen disorder. So that's we say put Jing Qi Shen together. essence, qi, and the spirit that belong to Shen disorder. And the disorder of the essence and the qi in the lung, people sorry means sadness. The same meaning, sadness. Pretty sad. So still over, still over. No reasons, always feel sad. It's not like truly something happens, like family members getting sick, people will be sad, that's normal emotion. But people always sad, whatever, nothing happened, still sadness. So that's still over emotion. That's relationship with the lung. Relationship with lung. Lung qi essence disorder. And the liver, liver qi disorder. Truly, liver have shu and xie conditions. Shu and xie, that's functions. And that's relationship with emotions. And the people, especially anxiety. But clinically, I would like to say, not only anxiety, other emotions, still different kind of relationship with liver, because liver have shu xie function. If liver shu xie function is not working, they can cause the other emotions. Here, just give us an example. But clinically, any emotions, we need to look in other symptoms or signs, relationship, possible relationship with liver, possible relationship with the heart holding all the other functions. So heart truly holding big shen and small shen, and all the others false motion still holding by the heart. And the same thing for the liver. Liver qi stagnation caused the angry. But other emotions still relationship with liver functions. Liver shu xie function not working, still cause the other emotions. So that's we're talking about the three organs here. Then we're talking about another two organs, another two zang organs mainly. So the disorder of the spleen, disorder of the spleen, lending people to fear. So that's usually we're talking about for the kidney. Usually we're talking about in the kidney, like a kidney qi deficiency. People will be fat. People will be fat. But for Huang Di Nei in this chapter, they're talking about the spleen. I think we can try to understanding this part like by 5 elements control circle here. We say earth control the water, like the spring normally will control the kidney, that kind of relationship. So now, when spleen qi have disorder, especially spleen qi deficiency here. So kidney water insulting the earth, insulting the spleen. So they, like their emotions, will be like a passing go to the spleen. So that's spleen qi deficiency, like their emotion is over there. So that's the fear coming from. Yeah, that's fear coming from. And truly, that's the condition, spleen qi deficiency. If the kidney itself has some disorder, qi disorder, it's more severe. It's more severe. So for me, fear and terror is kind of a different kind of a degree. Yeah, it's kind of different kind of degree emotion in there. Like the fear, I fear some people, I just away from it. But terror here, I truly scared. Yeah, I truly couldn't see that people. Even I see that people, I pretty fear. So that's the kidney itself, some disorder. Truly emotionally is more severe kind of fear in you. Severe kind of fear. So that's we're talking about disorder in different kind of organs cause the qi and essence like disorder. That will cause different kind of situations. So that may be caused some organ deficiency and other organ like overworking on it, or maybe the organ itself, they have some disorder. So that's by like emotion aspect. Emotion aspect. So then we're still talking about like 5 organs disorders. So what they don't like, dislike, what they dislike for 5 organs. So the heart don't like heat. Yeah, heart don't like heat. For 5 elements, heart is the fear. It have heat in it already. So heart generally say don't like heat. Like we talking about some people, insomnia, difficulty of sleep. Maybe excessive heat go to the heart. Even maybe deficiency heat go to the heart. So people couldn't sleep and maybe palpitations. Yeah, heart jumping pretty fast and they feel it. Yeah, they feel it. So we say heart don't like heat. And the lung don't like a cold. Yeah, lung don't like a cold. So basically for 5 elements, lung is metal. Metal itself is cold. Yeah. When we're touching the metal, always feel cold. So that's lung don't like a cold. Lung don't like cold. And clinically, we know like a lung, like connected with the skin and the nose and some superficial condition like EPI cold attacking. They are attacking the skin. They are attacking the nose first. And if not cured, they will go to internally lung. So that's maybe damage lung functions, cold condition, like EPI in the cold. And the liver don't like the wind. Liver don't like the wind. So liver troubles itself pretty close. We say liver is the wood, certainly. And the wood pretty easily affected by the wind. Like naturally, we can see the tree. When wind coming, the tree, the branch of the tree will be moving. Yeah. And internally, liver disorder, which they can cause the internal wind, like a muscle spasm. So liver pretty easily like cause the problems by the wind. So liver don't like wind. Yeah, liver don't like wind. And the spleen don't like dampness. So spleen is the 5 elements, certainly is the earth. And the spleen functions T and T, that's everybody familiar. Moving everything, yeah. Moving Qi, moving body fluid. So spleen disorder pretty easily cause dampness, like spleen Qi deficiency, TNT not working, and easily cause the dampness. And certainly, more dampness, even more damage spleen Qi functions. So that's we say spleen don't like dampness. Spleen don't like dampness. So kidney is the water organ. Kidney also control 5 different kinds of body fluid. We are talking about 5 different kinds of body fluid later, like the tear, like discharging from the nose, and the saliva, sweating, that's 5 different kinds of body fluid. It is separately controlled by 5 different organs, but it all holding by the kidney. Pretty similar, like we talked about the shen, like all the shen, 5 shen controlled by 5 different zang organs, but a bigger shen holding by the heart. Same thing for the body fluid. So kidney control all the 5 different kinds of body fluid, but each of the zang organ, they holding each of the body fluid separately, but it holding totally by the kidney. So it's the water organ, it's all water organ. Kidney have function because there are moisture, there's water in there. If no water in there, there's no function. So means kidney don't like dryness because no water anymore. Yeah. Dryness truly dry the water and affected kidney function. So that's 5 dislike meaning. 5 dislike meaning. For different organs, they dislike some special kind of conditions. Then we're talking about 5 different kind of body fluid. 5 different kind of body fluid relationship with the zang organs. So heart fluid yeah, transforming to the sweat. So that means like if heart has some body fluid deficiency kind of disorder, people no sweating, no sweating life. So that's basically sweating connected with heart. That's usually when we're in the foundation, we simply talking about heart control the sweat. Yeah, heart control sweat. So little bit different idea here. I know usually you're thinking about the lung. You're thinking about the lung. So what's the difference heart and the lung in here? Like in our water systems, yeah, in our water systems, like we have what do you call here, faults or whatever. Like we have open here, and then we can control here, and that's the like the pipe of the water. The water coming through the pipe. If we are not open, they continually flowing. But when we use the water, we need to open here. That's the pore of the skin or control the sweating. That's the lung function. Yeah, lung function, control the pore there. But what's the heart? Heart continually sending the water here. They must be have enough water, then they can come out. So that's the meaning the heart control the sweating. They must be have enough in there, then people can sweating or no sweating. But open and close, that's controlled by the lung. So basically, sweating controlled by two organs. One is the lung, one is the heart, but they control by different aspects. So that's for the heart. Yeah, that's for the heart. Then we're talking about the lung. So lung fluid control, they just use different words, transforming here. This means connection. Yeah, this means connection. With some discharging coming from the nose. So that's the relationship with the lung. So like people always have discharging coming from the nose. That must be lung functions decreased. Couldn't hold in there. Couldn't hold in. So that's for the lung. Liver, yeah, liver fluid. Relationship with the tear. So people like always tear out. Yeah, always tear out. That's the liver losing some function. And always clinically, we're pretty common talking about liver blood deficiency. People will dry eyes. That's where more familiar part. Yeah, more familiar part. So tear normally is moistening for the eyes, but it's too much, they tear out. They tear out. So we're talking about tear out too much here. We are not talking about the emotion stuff. Yeah, certainly some people sadness, they will got a lot of tear. We're talking about the condition, people tear too much. Like sometimes people, no reasons, they tear out. Or maybe we have some illness. When people go to outside, if some wind outside there, people will be tear out. That's like we just talking about liver don't like the wind. Liver don't like the wind. Some people especially when they go to outside, when outside have some windy here, they just tear out. They just tear out. So that's still liver functions disorder. And then we're talking about the spleen. Spleen fluid transforming for the saliva. Saliva certainly coming from the mouth. So saliva basically more relationship with the like our digestive function. Yeah, digestive function. When people eating, yeah, during eating, or maybe before eating, or just like look at some special kind of delicious in there, they may have saliva. Yeah. Thinking about some delicious food in there, they have more saliva. So that's we say spleen fluid transforming into saliva. Some case, when they sleep, so usually they should be not too much like a liquid or fluid coming from the mouth, but some people, especially for kids, their body function not totally development. Like they always some saliva coming out and getting white for the pillow or maybe for the cover in there. So that's still kind of difference. And the last one we're talking about kidney. So kidney fluid, we say kidney fluid control all the 5 kind of fluid, body fluid, but it especially go to spitting. What's the difference? Yeah, what's the difference? Saliva. They both coming from the mouth. Yeah, they both coming from the mouth. So like we're talking about the spleen, more relationship with digestion. So that kind of fluid, relationship with digestion, mainly we're talking about saliva. But like normally, we are not eating anything, just performing some moistening functions for the mouth. That part belong to the kidney, yeah, belong to the spittle, yeah, spittle. So that's these 2 both coming from the mouth, yeah, both coming from the mouth. So like I say, the case when they sleep, they are not eating, yeah, but they just got a weight pillow or cover in there. So that's basically both spleen and kidney deficiency. Whole natural acids and the post-natural acids deficiency, they couldn't hold in there. So that's all coming from the mouth. We're hardly to totally separate. We're hardly totally separate. So that's we say 5 different kind of fluids. 5 different kind of fluids, all coming from the organ functions normally. Then they will have fluid. If the organ losing functions, they will don't have special kind of fluid. Then we're talking about contraindication of the 5 different kind of flavor. we're talking about 5 different kind of flavor before, especially go to 5 different organs. Now we're talking about 5 different kind of flavors, relationship with the organs functions or body's functions. So pungent flavor, pungent flavor, especially go to qi. It makes qi moving more, make qi moving more, or pungent flavor. So if patient have qi disorder, that's basically we're talking about the qi deficiency here. We are not talking about the qi excessive or qi stagnation. So basically pungent make qi moving faster and more moving. So when people have qi deficiency kind of disorder, we try not to take too much pungent, including the food. Certainly, later on, when we're talking about herbs, we try not to use pungent kind of herbs for qi deficiency kind of patients because they're moving too much. They're moving too much. And when moving too much, truly they use too much qi. Truly they use too much qi. And then they cause the more qi deficiency kind of situation. So that's we say qi deficiency kind of patient. Try not eating too much pungent food. And when we use the herbs, we are not use too stronger pungent herb. We try not to move qi too much. And salty kind of flavor, it go to the blood. So patient with blood disorder, don't take too much salty flavor. So salty, salty. Basically, when we're talking about salty, when we're talking about herbs, we say salty flavor, kind of astringent functions in there. They put everything like a heavy, does belong to yin part of the flavor. Pungent go to yang part of the flavor. So yin part of flavor go to yin part of the body's functions, like blood belong to yin, qi belong to yang. So just compare with pungent go to qi, salty especially go to the blood. So that's basically too much, they will damage the blood. So don't use excessive kind of salty flavor when people have blood disorder. And bitter, bitter flavor, go to the bone. Bitter flavor, go to the bone. So patients with bone disorders, try not to take too much bitter flavor. So look like this part a little bit difficult to understanding. So let's thinking about basically, bone is controlled by the key. And the bitter flavor for 5 elements we're talking about for the heart. So kidney disorder will cause the bone disorder. In this kind of case, yeah, kidney deficiency, the fear will be insulting for the kidney. So that's why we're talking about like a bone disorder. Don't take too much bitter flavor. So why they don't directly talking about like a salty flavor will go to the kidney? Why they don't directly talking about the salty flavor here? I think basically we say in Huang Di Nei Jing, they just put things there. They didn't have explanations. Certainly, I read a lot of books, like some other TCM practitioners. They try to give some explanations. And by my experience, I try to give you some explanations. So that's I thinking. So in here, they still just give you some examples. And also like you thinking about a little bit more 5 elements relationship. So that's basically they talking about the bitter flavor go to the bone, and the patient have bone disorder. Don't take too much excessive bitter flavor. So that's by my understanding. Maybe later on you'll have more better explanations. But we just follow. Yeah, we just follow. For Huang Di Nei Jing, we just follow it and try to give explanation to it. We are not against it. And the sweet flavor, that's a little bit easier understanding. Sweet flavor go to the spleen. And the spleen control the muscles. So that's we say patient have muscles disorder or disease. Try not to take too much sweet flavor. So that this part is a little bit easy understanding here. And the sour flavor go to the sinners. So these parts still easily understanding. We say sour flavor go to the liver, and the liver go to control the sinners. And certainly, when people have sinners disorders, try to pay attention here. Don't take excessive kind of sour flavor. So generally speaking, 5 different kind of flavors. They go to 5 zang organs. They will nourishing 5 zang organs. We say salty flavor go to the liver. Normally, they will nourishing the liver. They will benefit the liver. But if over, they will damage organs function. So that's we're talking about the balance here. Yeah. So suitable amount is benefit organs if special kind of flavor go to special kind of organs. The suitable amount will be benefit. But if over, they will damage. So all the flavor here we're talking about excessive amount. All the 5 flavor here, not only for the sour flavor for the liver. All the flavor here, we're talking about if excessive, they will damage relationship, maybe 脏腑 organ function, maybe body's functions. So that's we're talking about the 5 zang organs here and the different function here. So that's we say 5 country indications of the 5 flavors. Excessive to take 5 different kind of flavors should be avoided. But a suitable amount will be benefit. So that's we talking about here. So how about the herbs? So basically in this part, mainly they talking about the food flavor. Yeah, food flavor. What kind of food we eat? Yeah, what kind of food we eat? So means different kind of people, they eating food, they need a special be careful. Like they have qi deficiency disorder, don't eating spicy kind of food. Something like that, yeah. And if you have blood disorder, don't eating too much salty food. So basically 5 different kind of flavor here. We're talking about food. Yeah, we're talking about food. So how about herbs? So herbs we use for treatment. Certainly, it's not for nutrition, yeah, for treatment. So that means, yeah, that means we use the herbs, different kind of flavor to correct a different kind of disorder. So that's very specially, like when we talking about different kind of flavors in different kind of herbs, we pick up to treat it, yeah, treat it different kind of disorder of the patients. So some middle jaw problems, spleen stomach, we still use sweaty kind of flavor, or maybe just natural kind of flavor. So basically go to middle jaw, we talking about, or maybe qi disorder. Yeah, we say qi deficiency kind of disorder. Most herbs is neutral, or maybe little bit sweat. Yeah. Like we talking about Fulin, yeah, qi 25, middle jaw qi 25, and Huang Di, yeah, Huang Di, and Renshen, yeah, and Renshen. So that's use the herbs, yeah, use the herbs. We still not overuse it, yeah, we still not overuse it. We just try to get some balance there. I think we also talking about salty kind of flavor, yeah, salty kind of flavor kind of herb. Remove, like we talking about, if some people have some masses, maybe caused by blood stasis, or maybe caused by phlegm, we can use some salty kind of herbs. So that's truly salty herbs go to the blood. Yeah, that's for the treatment. Yeah, that's for the treatment. Not like generally we take the food. So that's basically this part. Yeah, basically this part. Then we're still in the 5 elements part. Yeah, we're still in the 5 elements part. Then we're talking about 5 different kind of illness. It happens. So in illness, happens in the bone. Yang illness happens in the blood. So that's basically talking about general condition. Yeah, general condition. We still need to compare. Yeah, we still need to compare. So that's if we compare the bone and the blood, bone is more deeper. Yeah, bone is more deeper. It's more belong to yin. And if organ relationship is the kidney, in organs, yeah, in organs, and in part of the body. And the yang illness occurs in the blood. Blood compare with the bone. We must be say compare with the bone, that's yang. Certainly, if we compare superficial of the body, that's still belong to yin. But we just compare here, yeah, yin yang compare here. Y is yin, Y is yang. And the blood relationship more with the heart, with the heart controlled blood. So that's we talking about yin illness happens in the bone. Yang illness happens in the blood. And also organ relationship with the zang organ. If zang organ compare each other, certainly zang is in organ. But during the zang organ, last time we talked about something, we still can separate yang organ and yin organ. Upper jaw, heart, and the lung belong to yang organ. But the heart, like we know, is more moving. Yeah, more moving, more jumping. It's yang within yang organ. And the lung is yin within yang organ. Even they are both belong to yang organ. And the middle jaw, lower jaw, generally say is yin organ. Yeah, generally say is yin organ. So liver, yeah, liver, their functions, shu and xie, still more moving. So that's yang within yin organ. Within yin organ. And the kidney is the yin within yin organ. So that's just give us 2 examples here. Why is yang within yang organ is the heart? Thus mainly is yang organ here. Thus it happens for yang illness or yang disease. Heart control the blood. So thus we say yang illness happens in the blood. And in within organ is the kidney. And the kidney control the bone. So illness happens in the bone. And we also talking about last week, spleen. Spleen we call, Chinese we call 至阴, or you can think about the 太阴. It's more yin in there. Still in organs, yeah, still in organs. And the spleen control the muscles. Still belong to yin illness. So that's from the organs aspect and the body part, we're talking about yin yang illness. So that's one aspect. Then another aspect, we follow seasonally. So when we follow seasonally, the illness usually happens in the follow season, not exactly in the same season. We have chapter like chapter 2, chapter 3. We didn't discuss chapter 1. We didn't discuss in this semester, but truly we discussed in last semester. We talking about illness. So the weather are pretty affected with human bodies and cause the illness, because that's truly yin yang changing in there. We talking about the spring season. Spring season is yang gradually rising, basically yang rising from the winter already. Yeah. From the winter, yang start rising, and then to the spring, and then go to the summer. And then it's the yang qi gradually go down. It's fall. And then it's the winter. If we try to separate the yin and the yang, yeah, basically, yeah, if we try to separate the yin and the yang, so that's basically, that's still yin, yeah, still yin, yeah. Yin within yin is more in there. So that's the yang season and the yang within yang. But the illness, yeah, the illness, we say yang illness, it happens in the winter. So that's truly we're talking about, if we are not like we're talking about in the winter time, we need like holding yang qi inside and don't disturbing yang qi. So if we like disturbing yang qi in the winter time, and illness happens. That's basically is yang illness, or maybe some illness happens in the fall season, and illness happens in the summer. The same idea. The same idea. So thus we're talking about 5 different kind of illness here, but truly we are not truly follow 5 elements, 5 organs. So basically we separate 2 parts here. The first part we talking about some organ relationship, yin-yang organs relationship. Second part we talking about the seasonal relationship, yin illness and yang illness. Then we're talking about 5 different kind of evils or passengers. That's the Xie Chinese character, Xie evil, or passenger. They may go to different level of the bodies and may cause different kind of problems. And the passenger evil go to the yang level will cause people yang illness, like people crazy, crazy. People yard, take off all the clothes and running on the street, and yard with other people. So that's passenger evil go to yang level. If passenger evil go to the yin level, that's usually cause we're talking about B syndromes. What means B syndromes? Painful situation. So passenger go to the yin level, blocking the channels in the yin level. Like qi couldn't moving, blood couldn't moving, and painful in there. For Chinese we say 不通则痛, means it's something blocking there, not moving, will cause the painful. So painful situation, it caused by blocking. So this kind of blocking could be caused by qi blocking, or maybe blood, or maybe passengers. Cold block there, usually. Heat sometimes is still possible, blocking the qi flowing way. Still possible. That's what we're talking about 热闭. We have, generally say, we have 4 different kind of B. We have wind B. People will moving kind of pain. We have damp B. People have menlei is heaviness. Menlei is heaviness. And we also have cold B. Cold B is more painful. Then we talk about the 热 B or heat B. 热 just means heat. So heat B condition, still local painful and redness swollen. Redness swollen. So that's four commonly B syndromes. Yeah, four commonly B syndromes. Certainly in here, they're talking about the passenger go to in cause B syndromes. They are not mainly talking about the wind cause. And they mainly talking about cold and dampness cause, blocking the channels, and maybe some blocking the blood flowing way. So that's we just separate with two levels here to see which level involved. Why is yang level? Generally say, like a passenger go to yang level, cause the people like a crazy kind of condition, mania. And the passenger evil go to yin level, cause the painful situation because the channel blocking. And like combinations of passenger evil go to yang level, like a passenger evil and fighting with Zheng qi together, and easily damage body Zheng qi, damage body yang qi. They fighting each other. Yeah, they fighting each other, and usually cause the problems on the top part of the body. Top part of the body is the head. Yeah, top part of the body is the head. And if they fighting each other, passengers with the yin, that's usually cause the people some sounds like low sounds and horses sounds in there. That's basically still separate with two levels. So compare with hard part, soft part is in. So still young passengers cause the young part body's problems there. And the passenger go to in levels, cause the in part of the bodies like illness or symptoms there. So just compare. Yeah, remember for TCM, we never absolutely. Yeah, we never absolutely. We need to compare. Yeah, we need to compare in part body, yang part body. We need to compare yang illness, yin illness. We still need to compare. So that's just some compare here. And the passenger evil. Yeah, passenger evil, that's 邪. Yeah. Passenger evil from yang go to yin, people will be correct. We say passenger go, when passenger go to yang level, people will be crazy there. Yeah, people will be crazy. But when passenger go deeper, from yang level go to yin level, then people will be quiet. Yeah, then people will be quiet. So some clinical situation, like if patient, like each time they talking loud, yeah, some heat condition in the yang level, they talking loud, they speak loud, and suddenly they quiet, they don't talking anymore. It's possible they're getting better. Yeah, possible they getting better. Another possible, like the passenger go to deeper level. So that's the passenger possible able to changing the levels And also, if opposite, like the passenger evil from the yin go to yang, thus easily people getting angry emotions. So like we talked about before, passenger go to yin level, people basically is yin B syndromes. Now people like a B syndromes is getting better, kind of relieved. But people more angry, That means the passenger evil travel from yin level go to yang level. So put together, thus 5 kind of disorder happens inside our bodies. Then we're talking about pulse. We're talking about pulse. Different kind of pulse. So pulse part, we still not specially discuss in this semester, but we truly discuss in that semester. If you like, you can go to the video to see about the pulse part. So generally speaking, we're talking about the spring seasons, pulse will be varying. That's pretty similar like we talked about before, very pulse. And also, I think we have another page later. They put pulse there also. Yeah. And in summer season, the pulse that should be in summer season, the pulse with a hawk-like. Yeah, what means hawk-like? Pretty strong in the superficial position. It's coming bigger, and then they go pretty slow. It's firstly they go faster and then slowly. That's hawk-like, So that's mentions in classical book. So summertime. And then we still have in the fall season, the pulse will in the superficial hair-like. What means hair-like? It's not that strong, but you can feel it in the superficial position. And in the winter, the pulse is more deeper. That's normally full season pulse. Yeah, that's normally full season pulse. So the same season you feel the same pulse, that's normal condition. When we're talking about whatever, very pulse, hair pulse, deep pulse, just compare with other seasons. Let it be vary, let it be deeper, let it be higher. It's not that like a totally vary, still stick pulse. But a little bit in there, that's normal pulse. Now we're talking about some abnormal condition here. Autumn pulse appear in the spring. So we're still talking about 5 elements relationship here. So autumn relationship with the metal we need pretty clear 5 elements relationship with the season and the organs. Spring relationship with the wood. So in the spring season, we should feel the spring pulse. Thus, we're talking about the very pulse. But in spring season, we feel the pulse hairline. That's one condition. So we know metal control the wood. Yeah, metal control the wood. So if the autumn pulse show up in the wood season, in the spring season, means the metal over control the wood here, or maybe wood severe kind of difference. So that's one condition here. And then another condition, winter pulse appear in the summer. So summer is the fair. Winter is the water. The relationship still control. Yeah, still control relationship. So still means over control or severe kind of fair difference. And the spring pulse appear in the later summer. Later summer is the earth. Thus we say one aspect, the idea, later summer is the earth. Another idea is the earth control. Each season lasts 18 days. But here we just say later summer is the earth. So spring pulse can appear in the later summer. Still control relationship there. Still over control, or maybe earth too weaker. Then the last one, still the same thing. Summer pulse appear in the autumn. That's still maybe over control, maybe more defensive. And the later summer pulse appear in the winter. So basically the pulse here, they are in control circle. Yeah, they are in control circle. If we find the pulse in control circle, these kind of patient, like we feel the pulse, like they coming for treatment in the spring season, then we feel the pulse is like the full pulse, hair like a pulse. So that means the passengers, yeah, that means the passengers pulse. So that's basically this kind of pulse, lending the illness, difficult to treat. They use words incurable. So certainly severe kind of situation is incurable, but basically it's very severe kind of condition. So that condition, they say, belong to yin, go to yang kind of condition. So basically, we are not necessary to thinking about they from yin go to yang or from yang go to yin. We just pay attention here. The pulse in control circle kind of show up. That's difficult to treat. So these 5 different kind of condition by different kind of passengers. And that means the illness getting more worse. That's all belong to, all these 5 conditions belong to severe kind of condition, difficult to treat condition, or incurable condition. So that's basically from the pulse, we can tell how to prognosis of the illness. So in this part, they didn't especially talking about generation circle. So generally speaking, if the pulse in generation circle, the illness will be easily treated. Easily treated. Like in the spring season, in the spring season, wood season, we say spring season, wood season, normally we feel the very pulse. That's generally say a little bit very is normal. Or even people have sick or illness. In the spring season, you feel the very pulse. Still easily to treat. Easily to treat. So what kind of condition is difficult to treat? Control circle we're talking about. Mainly is we feel the metal pulse in the spring season is hard to treat. Severe kind of condition. Severe kind of condition. But if you feel the pulse like the fair pulse in the spring season, still curable, or maybe even deeper, like the water pulse in the spring season, still curable, still curable. Mainly just which one is controlled is difficult to kill, but by the generation circle, by the generation circle, still curable, still curable, still easily treated. So that's basically from the pulse, we can know that the illness is easily to treat or difficult to treat. Then we're talking about 5 zang organ storage here. Storage here. What means storage? What means storage? Thus, we're talking about each of the zang organ, they holding each kind of shen. They holding each kind of shen or spirit. So we know the heart storage for bigger shen, bigger shen. And they also control other force motion. But mainly, the heart is more important to storage or holding shen. And the lung storage for pearl. And the liver storage for the hun. And the spleen storage for the yi. And the kidney storage for the zhi. About 5 different kinds of emotions. About 5 different kinds of emotions. So still different book, they may give you a little bit different explanations. Like E, E, mostly say people thinking kind of functions, or maybe study functions. That's more belong to E, belong to E. And the zhi, some books they say they belong to kind of emotions, but some books say people make decisions. Yeah. So some different idea, like people make a decision. We know that usually we talking about gallbladder function. But like you plan to do something and you're let be happy to do something, that's basically we're talking about that's zhi, yeah, that's zhi or kidney. So still maybe have some different opinion there. And about hun and pe, yeah, hun and pe. Hun and pe, like a little bit hard to explanations, but generally say any kind of emotions relationship with it, like organs functions, like we talking about heart shen. If heart shen function not working, so people will got a kind of crazy kind of condition, or maybe couldn't holding the shen inside the body. People got a sleep problem, so that's with the heart shen disorder. And the same thing for the liver and the lung. Yeah, liver and the lung. So like if the hun, hun like not working, liver have some disorder. And some people explanations hun and pe. So per relationship with the lung, per relationship with the lung. Thus belong to young organ, compared with liver. And the liver belong to yin organ, compared with the lung. So some opinion or idea. So like all of our daytime activities is the poor. Yeah, it's the poor. Including emotion part, and the people can do things. And then in the night time, that's the function of hun. Even some people say, hun go back to the liver, that's normal situations. So that's like one control the daytime, one control the nighttime. So that's about emotion part, But truly, 5 different kind of shen or emotion go to different kind of organs. Then we're talking about the 5 governance. So 5 governance relationship with 5 organs, certainly. So heart governs the vessels. So certainly, heart pushing the blood circulation in the vessels. So vessels here mainly for blood vessels. So vessels, these words in different book, they may cover for different parts. Sometimes they may meaning blood vessels. Sometimes they also possible meaning for the channels. Or meridians. Because for Chinese characters, they use mai. The mai itself have more meaning. we know even we talking about the pulse, we say mind. And we talking about the channel or meridians, we also say Jing mai. So that make these words a little bit confusing. So you need to see the articles, upper and the lower part, then you know clearly what it means, vessels or mind in there. But here, they talking about the heart governed vessels in this part, means blood vessels. Yeah, means blood vessels. It's not means channels here. So that's heart governed vessels. And certainly, the blood vessels connected with our part, pulse. So even for Western medicine, they feel the pulse, and then they talking about what's the function of the heart. Yeah, pulse faster or slow. Yeah. So that's for the heart governed vessels. Lung governed the skin. So that's the superficial of the bodies. So skin disorder, relationship with lung. Clinically pretty common. Patient have lung disorder and pretty easily cause skin rushing. Yeah. So that's lung governed the skin. And the liver governed the sinners or tendons. So if patient have liver disorder, pretty easily cause tendons disorder or maybe joints disorder. So joints problems, pretty common clinically. Generally speaking, joints problems relationship with three organs. One is liver for the tendons, another for the kidney, the bones, yeah, the bone, and another one, spleen, the muscles. So basically for me, if a patient coming for the joints problems, maybe shoulder problems, maybe knee problems, I like pick up some like a points. I may not go to the liver points. I may go to the gallbladder points, like gallbladder 34. And at the same time, I like to go to some kidney points, like a kidney 3. And I also go to spleen points. Sometimes I just directly go to the spleen 6. Certainly, you can go to some other points. But that's the basic idea. If some people have joints problems, usually three organs relationship. So that's we're talking about liver governed the tendons, and the spleen governed the muscles, and the kidney governed the bone. So that's together we have 5 governance. Then we discuss 5 different kind of over palpitations for over here. Overstraining. Overstraining. Use too much. Use too much. So long-term thing, we're looking something. We're looking something like a long-term using our eyes. Right now, certainly, everybody looking for the computer, looking for the phone. But even in the ancient time, in Huang Di Nei, Jing, they talking about already. In that time, no phone, no computer. But still, if you long-term using the eyes, will damage the blood. So certainly, certainly we say the blood, blood is nourishing for the eyes. And the organ relationship is the liver. That's pretty commonly, clinically, we're talking about people have liver blood deficiency. They will decrease the vision. And in other aspects, if we use our eyes too long term, will damage liver blood. Liver blood. So that's generally we say damage the blood, damage blood. And sleep so long, sleep so long, damage qi. Sleep so long, damage qi. We say we are not use eyes anymore. We go to sleep. We sleep all day. That will be beneficial for blood. But it damages qi. Damages qi. So qi functions. Qi need moving. Qi need moving. Qi not moving. Qi losing function. And the qi will be less. Qi will be less. Or maybe qi stagnation. So basically, they're talking about damage qi here. They're talking about the damage qi functions and cause disorder of the qi. Maybe qi deficiency, maybe qi stagnations. So don't sleep too long. Don't sleep too long. Everything will be balanced for TCM. For TCM, we need everything balanced. Even sleep, not too long, not too long. I heard about the story. It's a true story. It happens in China. One boy, like from the beginning, his parents, like how to say for English, like don't like the boy to do anything. The boy just play the game, just in the bed, like a whole day. Didn't moving, even eating in the bed, everything in the bed, sleep and play the game, sleep, play the game, don't do anything, don't do anything. Like after 10 to 20 years, so like when the parents leaving, feed the boy with the food or whatever. So because he stay on the bed whole day, they don't do everything. But later on, the parents getting sick and died. And in that kind of situation. No people gave food for the boy, and then the boy tried to get up to looking the food for himself, but he couldn't walk anymore. Yeah, losing function because no qi in there. Yeah, no qi in there. So thus we say sleep for a long term. Yeah, sleep for a long term. Damage qi. Damage qi. So we put sleep here. Basically, you can changing the words like lay down there for a long term, whatever they fell asleep or not fell asleep. So that's basically lay down there for a long term. Yeah, it's damage qi. Damage qi. And we say we lay down there for a long term is not good. We can sit in there. We can sit in there. Sitting there for a long term still damage body's functions, will damage the muscles. So generally speaking, the muscles need nutrition also. So we know they need blood circulation go to there, they need qi circulation go to there. But if some people sitting there for a long term, not moving the muscles, muscle not moving, so blood not circulation properly, and the qi not circulation properly. So that's damage the muscles. Then we say we're standing whole day, or maybe continually, few days. Still damage some part of the body. That's mainly damage bone part. We know our bone supports our whole body weight, If they're standing there for a long term, truly damage the bone. Then we say we're walking. But still, everything we have something limited, some region. Not walking so long time. So walking so long time, it will be damage the signal. So in this part, it didn't give us specially the time, like how long is the long? How long is long? It's a few hours or few days or few years. They just tell us a truth. Everything, whatever we're doing, not over. So basically depending individually patient's situation. Like some people can walk in few hours. The body can handle it. But some people maybe just walking 20 minutes. They feel tired. That means you only can hold in 20 minutes. So totally depending different kind of people's constitutions. But generally speaking, we couldn't only do one kind of like whatever, see something or whatever, lay down there or sitting there or standing there or walking. Basically, we need to switch. That's why in our class, we say, generally we say we're learning about an hour, we get a 10 minutes break. And maybe we're learning like half hour, that's sometimes we suggest it if you study yourself. Every 30 minutes, standing up getting a short break, like walking a little bit, then continually study. Certainly in our class, we maybe go to 1 hour or maybe a little bit longer, but not too longer. Not like a whole day, 8 hours, like just sitting there, just study, not moving. We need like a Canon movie. So still moving, still not too much. Still not too much. You need to switch. So that's why I say you study sometimes, then you can do some exercises. Then you can come back and continually study. So any kind of physical activities, if you overdo it, that's possible damage your body, part of the body or functions. Okay, here is the pulse relationship with the 4 seasons. Yeah, we talked about a little bit from the beginning already. Yeah. So we say liver pulse. Yeah, liver pulse. Normally, yeah, normally is the Xuan pulse. So translator in different book, they may use the different words. Most commonly we use vary. Yeah, vary is 学, and some book they transmit to 10. Still means 学. So for the pulse, I will suggest to you, try to remember Chinese characters. Because translators sometimes they gave you different meaning, yeah, different meaning. But the originally Chinese characters will be not changing, will be kept the same, will be kept the same. So that's liver pulse we talk about. And we know each of the organs' relationship with the seasonally. Yeah, seasonally. So liver relationship of 5 elements is the wood. Wood relationship with the spring season is not a spring organ. Yeah, spring season. So that means normally in the spring season, we will feel the liver pulse. And that pulse will be little bit vary, little bit vary. We just compare with other seasons, yeah, with other seasons. I generally say the same person in different seasons, the pulse will be little bit different. Yeah, will be little bit different. So in the spring season, and the pulse will be go to little bit vary. That's normal. That's normal. That's the normal pulse. And the hard pulse, yeah, hard pulse. Look like a gold. Yeah, gold means hawk-like. So that's coming pretty strong. We know heart relationship 5 elements is the fact. And the season relationship is the summer. Summer is more yang time. Yeah, pretty stronger yang. Yeah, pretty stronger yang in there. So pretty stronger yang, the pulse coming stronger. So they're talking about hawk-like is pretty stronger coming. And then they go away. And then coming again, then go away. I think right now, like in the textbook, we are not especially talking about go pulse. Yeah, we are not especially talking about go pulse. But truly, we're talking about overflowing kind of pulse. Yeah, overflowing pulse. But originally, they just gave a kind of picture in there, pretty stronger coming, and then go away. So look like a hawk. Yeah, look like a hawk. That's originally in like a Huang Di Nei classic book. They mentioned the pulse. Now, even in the textbook, like not that especially talking about the pulse relationship with different seasons. So that part basically we didn't especially discuss before, but truly in classical book in Huang Di Neijing, that's a pretty important part for the pulse. I think the reason, the pulse in ancient time, less physical activity, less emotionally, like less like right today. Right now we have computer, we have internet, we have a lot of things to do. In ancient time, people living pretty simply, So the pulse pretty easily, like marching with different seasons. And especially in different seasons, you can feel the different pulse. But right now, the pulse, like inflection by too many reasons. Yeah, too many reasons. Even some people take medications. Some people couldn't sleep on time. They overnight is play the game, and then they sleep in the daytime. So lot of things infected of the people natural pulse. So right now, we are a little bit hard to find the pulse difference in the different seasons. But truly in ancient time, we're talking about different pulse in different seasons. There are different. Yeah, there are different. So that's some difference. Yeah, some difference in the ancient time, like we're talking about Huang Di Neijing, the book, 2,000 years ago. So in that time, patient pay attention, doctor, practitioner pay attention for patient's pulse and the different seasons relationship. But right now, we may let it be hard to compare or find the different pulse in different seasons. So that's the summer pulse or hard pulse look like a hawk-like kind of shape and pretty strong. Then we're talking about the spring pulse. Yeah, spring pulse. They use the word style, but basically they talking about it's kind of softer and slow. Slow here just compare with faster. Still not too slow. Yeah, just like relaxing kind of pulse. Yeah. Normally we feel the pulse. Yeah. but kind of softer. It's not like summertime. It's pretty stronger jumping there. So that's the spring pulse. Then we're talking about a long pulse. When we're talking about organs, when we talk about organs, we always connect with organs with the seasons. With the seasons. So long season is the fall. When we're talking about a long pulse, also means we're talking about the pulse in the fall season. So in that time, you can think about like the tree leaves will be falling down. Everything will falling down. It's Shanghai. It's Shanghai, but the leaves will be falling down. So still young time, but it's in gradually coming. And like still young in the superficial, So that pulse we call Mao. Mao is the hair, body hair we're talking about. You feel the pulse, kind of feel the body hair in there. It's still on the superficial. So in the summer, we are in the superficial location. In the fall, young not totally go to deeper yet. So still in the superficial position, but it's not that strong in there. So that meaning hair-like. You feel it. You feel it. If you're pushing down, they may disappear. So that's the words hair-like here or Mao in here. And when go to kidney pulse, kidney seasonal relationship, certainly everybody knows that's the winter. So winter, yang will holding inside. So the Chinese words they use 石, stone, stone. What means stone? Hard. You only feel it in the deep position, deep position, and let it be hard there. That's basically they're talking about kidney pulse. Kidney pulse. Maybe you're pushing too harder, go to the bone, you feel the hard there. But truly it's deeper. Truly it's deeper. So that's basically our pulse will follow the fall seasons changing. And the fall seasons relationship with four organs, which is put four organs here, and the spleen we put to the center. So when we're talking about 5 organs pulse here, basically we also discuss, like the pulse relationship with the seasons and the relationship with the yin yang changing. So from here, then like from the beginning we talking about in different seasons we feel different pulse. So if in this chart here, if this chart here might be hard to show up control circle. So we still need this chart for control circle. That chart basically we use for seasonally, we use for yin-yang changing, for directions. But if we try to show the control circle, we still need this chart. So that's from the beginning. We're talking about in different seasons. We can see the different pulse. So that's the spring season. That's the summer season. That's the later summer. That's the fall or autumn. That's the winter. So we say, if in the spring season, if in the spring season, we feel the fall pulse. Fall pulse, we say hair-like, long pulse, hair-like. So that's a severe kind of condition. And if in the later summer, we feel the spring pulse, like a very pulse in there, that's a severe kind of condition. And if on the fall, we feel the summer pulse, means hawk-like kind of stronger pulse, that's a severe kind of condition. And if in the summer, we feel the winter pulse or kidney pulse. So summer truly like is more yang in there, pulse will be in the superficial, pretty stronger in there. But right now you feel pretty deeper in there. That's a severe kind of condition. And the same thing, If in the winter, pulse should be deeper, but they are not deeper. They are more softer there. That's the earth pulse, still severe kind of condition. So that's basically in these chapters, we talking about a lot of 5 elements relationship with different kind of situations and the relationship with like the organs, the pulse, the passengers. That's our 5 elements part.